instance, 2, network 3, they are all directly connected to this other router. So that is what they mean by directly connected network. A network that has all its configurations in a particular network. So for instance, right there. Wow. Alright, so this is one thing that one have to understand. All these networks are a part of here. So we'll have to understand that. So what if we call a remote network? Now, a remote network is a network that my router will have to ask another router or another intermediary device to reach that particular network. Now, for instance, this router knows about this network because it is direct. It knows about this network because it has an IP address that is directly connected. It knows this network because it has an IP address that is directly connected to this network. Now, what of this if this router right here wants to forward a packet to a device in this network? Oh my God. Now, how is this possible? And vice versa. For instance, this router also wants to forward a packet to a device in this network. Now, if this router here wants to forward a packet to this network, for instance, this PC here wants to forward a packet to a PC that is on this other switch right here. Now, the destination IP address is 10.1.1.1, for instance, or 10.1.1.2. Now, it's now moving from here right all the way to here. Now, that IP address is only directly connected to this router, not this other router here. So in that case, this router 1 will have to rely and relay its packet to this router 2 here, saying to router 2 that I have a packet that I need to forward to a particular IP address in your network. I don't know whether you know it or not, but I have a packet that I need to forward to 10.1.whatever. I am sorry guys, so but it's 10.1.1.2 for instance. So now the packet needs to leave right from here it goes. But then router 1 will say, I do not know about a particular I don't know about the network that this particular IP address belongs to. So I want to send you this. So you can tell me if you know, please route this traffic to that network so the destination device can respond. So it's just like your friend, okay? You do not know about a particular network. You tell your friend, you call and say, okay, I cannot read this, but do you know about this? You say, yes, then help me get that. So that's what this is. So the same thing that happens to router 2. I do not know about the 10, so let's say for instance, 192.168.11.2 IP address. I do not know because it's not directly connected to me. I will need to consult routers 1 so it can tell me how to reach that particular PC. So that is an explanation, a very clear and simple explanation. So that is what you mean. Networks that are not directly connected, that this router does not have an IP address in them that is directly configured on its interfaces, they are remote networks. I do not know about these two networks because they are in another router. They are behind another router, so they do not belong to my domain. So that is what remote and local mean, or directly connected means. So you can use your show IP route table command or your show IP route command to see which networks are seen by your router's routing, the router's routing table or not. So you can know. With that, you will know which networks you can read, because if a network is not seen in a routing table, you will know it exactly. If there is no gateway of last resort, that packet is going to be dropped somehow. I'll explain what the gateway of last resort is when we start configurations, and you will understand. So route entries are defined by code, like for instance L for local interfaces, that is the IP address that's configured locally on the interface itself. The directly connected networks, that is the network from which the IP from which the interface IP comes from. The static route is a route that was learned statically because the administrator tells the router how to reach that particular network. And dynamic routing table, or the route D for some dynamic routing protocols like EIGRP, and it will tell how the route will learn dynamically by the devices or automatically by the hops or the routers themselves. So remote network routing can be done this way. So if you check your routing table, these are some of the entries that you will see. You will see D, and you will see an IP address 10.1.1.0, and then you will see 90 slash a number. Now we need to have some interpretation of this one so that you guys can know exactly what this is all about. So I'm just gonna have to copy this. Okay guys, I'm just have to copy this so I can explain it properly for you guys to know. I'm gonna have to bring it to this surface right there, add something right there, and then say, hey, I'm gonna have to do this for you. You're gonna tell me that I'm gonna have to draw this for you. Alright, so let's do this. Okay, it's just we do not have all the tools necessary, so I just want to explain this one to you guys. Okay, so now look at here. I have D. Okay, I have that 101110, and in this bracket right there I have two values that are separated by a dash or by a stroke like that. So I have 90 here, and I have 2170112, and I have via here. I have this IP address, I have this timer, and I have this interface here. So let's explain these things. Okay, so now this D here, it's telling you how the network was learned, whether it was statically learned or whether it was dynamically learned. And if it is dynamic, it will tell you the code what dynamic routing protocol was used to learn this particular network. Now what network does it learn from here? It's telling router 1 that I learn about this network, and I learn about this network remotely. And how do I learn it? I use the dynamic routing protocol code D, that is EIGRP, in case you don't know. So what is the administrative distance? It says the administrative distance is 90 because EIGRP's administrative distance is 90. Now after that we have a value here. Now this value that you have underneath here is not any value, but is the metric. Okay, that is your metric, or you can call it the reported distance, or no, the feasible distance, sorry. So that is the feasible distance. We'll come to that. Now we have the via. It's telling you how do you know. The other one is saying that how do I know about this network? How do I know about this network? It says that I consulted a route, or I consulted somebody that is having the IP address 209.165.200 or 226, and that is here on router 2. That is the next hop IP address of router 2. Now we have this time elapsed. It's telling you how long does it take for you to learn about this network. It says it takes you just 5 seconds. And how do you learn about that network from yourself? It says I use my exit interface serial 000 to reach that particular route out there. So guys, I hope you guys understand this one, and it was completely explained, and I hope these things are very clear. And there is no further explanation here. If you have any, I just completed everything right from there, and there is no more that we would say. So static and default static route scenarios, we'll talk about them. We have a static route configuration that we're going to do. Why do we configure static route? Is because we want to statically assign remote networks to our router, so our router can learn about those remote networks manually. So you manually insert those routes into the routers using the IP route statement. So we'll come to that. We say IP route blah blah blah. So when we have a practical, we're gonna deal with this one. So I'm gonna put this thing to you guys in my next video tomorrow. We're gonna have a network that is dynamically that is directly connected. We add another router, and then we add some basic some configurations, and we look at the default static route configurations. So all of this will come tomorrow in our video, and it's all practical, everything here. So I see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this other video, and then you will try to learn a